Republican revolt hits Trump. Lawmakers defy president. Huge setbacks from politics to judiciary for President Trump. GOP revolt shocks Trump amid defiance and collusion with Dems. Donald Trump is the President of the United States and the undisputed power center of Republican politics. But in the past 24 hours, that authority faced an unexpected test. Not from foreign rivals like Russia or China, but from within his own party. For the first time in months, Republican lawmakers publicly pushed back, exposing rare fractures in Trump's political control. What unfolded sent shockwaves through Washington, raising fresh questions about party unity, legislative strategy, and the limits of presidential influence. Here's what happened and why it matters. Trump wanted Indiana redrawn, a new congressional map, a tighter Republican grip, a clear political advantage. Instead, he was pushed by his own. What began as a routine political push ended as one of the most humiliating setbacks of Trump's presidency. Indiana's state Senate voted on Thursday against a new congressional map that Trump had pressured it to adopt, fell flat. Republicans crossed the aisle and joined the rival Democrats to defeat Trump. And that Thursday, December 11th, will forever hitched in Trump's memory. In a pivotal pre-midterm moment, Indiana's state Senate voted 31-19 to reject the proposed congressional districts, a map designed to tighten Republican control. Currently, Indiana sends 9 Congress members to the U.S. House of Representatives, one for each of its 9 districts. 2 of those seats are currently occupied by Democrats.
I'm elated. We've often heard this old saying that democracy is not a spectator sport. And man, today, they showed it. They did their things. Thousands of phone calls, thousands of letters and texts into the legislators, and they listened.
I'm in Marion County, and Marion County would be split up directly into 4 districts. Currently, we have Andre Carson representing us in D.C., and his district would be torn into 4 different districts. And we already know that he currently, the people of his district continuously re-elect him since 2007 for a reason, because he is reliable, because he listens to his constituents and really centers their voices in his votes.
I wouldn't call it a wide margin because up until the moment that we were on the floor and saw the votes on the board, we really didn't know for certain how anyone was going to vote. There's been a lot of outside sources that were pressuring. But the Hoosiers prevailed today. I mean, their phone calls, their letters, coming to the State House, their testimony, showing up at town halls, it mattered. And legislators listened.
I'm sure there's going to be some frustration. There have been some comments made about things that may or may not have to happen for the state of Indiana as a result of the Senate's vote. But we shouldn't have to look over our shoulder at the federal government and say, we didn't get this because somebody in Washington was upset with us. Those decisions ought to be made based on merit and whether or not it's good for the country. And I'm sure cooler heads will prevail at some point, and they'll talk about things like what's good for the country, what's good for the constituents, both ours and the president's. So I'm expecting some pushback, but I also expect that there's some reasonableness out there as well.
Competition is healthy, my friends. I firmly believe in fair competition. I always have said it before, and I will say it again. Regardless of political parties, Democrats, Republicans, Libertarians, Green Party, I've always believed that any political party on earth that cannot run and win based on the merits of its ideas is unworthy of governing.
I believe the bill on its face is unconstitutional.
Under the proposed map, District 1 would include Lake County all the way down to Wabash County. And while today's Senate District 4 in Porter and LaPorte County would be dropped into District 2 that stretches all the way down to Whitley County. These are entirely different communities with entirely different economies and priorities. I've hosted many town halls to hear from my constituents about mid-cycle redistricting. And not a single person could point to Whitley County or had any connection to it. It's a beautiful county, it's a beautiful courthouse, but I have yet to hear from a single constituent in Northwest Indiana that believes that they should be redistricted into the same community that votes for the congressional leader all the way on the other side of the state.
But the tremors were felt all the way to the Oval Office. Trump was furious.
Mr. President, in Indiana, just a few moments ago, the Senate there rejected the congressional maps to redistrict in that state. A number of Republicans voted against that redistricting effort. You have spent a lot of time talking about this. The Vice President traveled to Indiana. What's your reaction?
Well, we won every other state. That's the only state. It's funny because I won Indiana all 3 times by a landslide. And I wasn't working on it very hard. Would have been nice. I think we would have picked up 2 seats if we did that. You had one gentleman, the head of the Senate, I guess, Bray, whatever his name is. I heard he was against it. He'll probably lose his next primary, whenever that is. I hope he does, but because he's done a tremendous disservice. I mean, think of it. It's a great place. I love the people there. They love me. You know, we won in a landslide all 3 times. Got tremendous votes. I got record votes. And then there's no reason for doing that. And the Democrats do it to us, so I can't imagine that they do it. But I wasn't very much involved. But there's a man named Bray, as I guess, head of the Senate. Was that Bray? Is that the name, Bray? I mean, I'm sure that whenever his primary is, it's I think in 2 years. But I'm sure he'll go down. He'll go down. I'll certainly support anybody that wants to go against him.
The setbacks were not over. The Justice Department failed for a second time to secure a re-indictment of New York Attorney General Letitia James. The 2 failed attempts have come after a judge dismissed an initial indictment because the U.S. attorney who secured it wasn't serving legally. This comes after another grand jury also rejected a charge against former FBI Director James Comey, another of Trump's targets for retribution, in his initial indictment. The emerging picture signals how thinly constructed the allegations in Trump's retribution campaign. These cases suggest how the U.S. criminal justice system isn't bowing to Trump's will. Reports suggest that Trump was nominating Lindsay Halligan, who was disqualified in the James and Comey cases, to be confirmed as U.S. attorney. Her confirmation would give her power to seek these kinds of indictments for Trump. There's a big problem. Under its long-standing blue slip rule, the Senate doesn't confirm nominees like her unless they have the approval of senators in the state at issue. And Virginia has 2 Democratic senators who will not give Halligan such approval. Trump's been waging a long-standing pressure campaign to get the Senate GOP leadership to scrap this rule, which he also re-upped Thursday on social media. The story is similar to Trump's efforts to target Democrats who reportedly warned military service members about the Trump administration potentially giving illegal orders. Trump accused a half-dozen Democrats, like Senator Kelly of Arizona, of seditious and even treasonous behavior, and he even invoked the death penalty. But Trump's retaliation efforts suffered a brutal blow on Thursday. After the Navy delivered a report on Kelly that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth had requested, Senate Armed Services Chairman Roger Wicker signaled to CNN that it's not appropriate for the military to try to punish Kelly. the Mississippi Republicans said it wasn't appropriate for the military to even try to punish Kelly, much less sanction him for sedition or treason. By nightfall, the picture was clear. Indiana defied him. The courts resisted him. Republicans broke ranks. A brutal day, a humbling one. The world's most powerful man didn't look so powerful after all.